Okay. Okay, so welcome everyone to our, I guess this is our third video, and today is the big day. We're going to get a tour of Trevor's yacht. So, Trev, without any further ado, I'm going to hand it over to you and ask you to speak loudly into the microphone because there's a little bit of background wind noise, but take it away.
All right, Charlene. Hey, everyone. Happy New Year. I'm standing here on my Oyster 725 in Antigua. And we are now just 4 days away from leaving with a big fleet of other oysters to sail around the world. And you can see they're all lined up beside me. Maybe you can see it in the background. Turn my camera around.
Yeah, no, they look great. Oh, wow.
All the oysters preparing for the big rally.
And do you have team meetings taking place each day, or what's the routine to get ready?
Yeah, we do. Obviously we've been getting ready for a long time. I've been sailing 3 years straight now, and getting this boat ready, and just finished my third Atlantic crossing before Christmas, and there's been meetings with this team for about a year. We signed up a couple of years ago, and now there's meetings regularly on all different things. And as we get ramped up, we did sea survival, another course the other day, and now there's navigation meetings and different things as we get ready for our big launch on the 9th. So yeah, it's busy in a good way right now, and fun, and for many of us it's been a decade in the making. So we're down to the wire.
So exciting. Now tell me, Trevor, is there a safety boat or any motor boat that goes along as well and it's part of the fleet, or is it strictly the sailboats and then your communications?
Yeah, it's sailboats. We all have SSB radios, which are long range radios, like ham radios on board, and we have it's sat phones and stuff like that. But no, there's no guard boat or anything like that. No, we're on our own. But that's always the way. You think on these voyages when you cross the big oceans that you'll see lots of other boats around, but you never do. We saw 6 boats crossing the Atlantic last time. They're few and far between, as you quickly realize these oceans are massive, and it's a study in self-reliance, really. And so instead of focusing on stuff like that, it's more on safety equipment, rafts, and how to use all that stuff so that we can look after ourselves. Basically is what it boils down to.
Okay, well, I'll ask you to speak up a little bit with the wind noise, but yeah, I remember you saying that it was just Fear Loft that you saw for the first time on your crossing from the Atlantic, and it had been several days without any sightings whatsoever. So it is a vast ocean that you're crossing. So
yeah, exactly.
Okay, well, why don't you take us? I don't know if you want to start at the head, at the furler, or where do you want to start? So it's all automatic, right? Your winches, your furler, it's all pretty much controlled from the cockpit.
Well, I mean, yes and no. I'll walk you through it. You can see the parts that are automatic and the parts that are not. But yeah, I mean, this is an Oyster 70. It's called an Oyster 725. It's 72.5 feet or 22 meters. It's a 2012 boat. I bought in 18 and then spent a bunch of time and money bringing it up to sort of world-class water cruiser. So as you'll see, it's pretty nicely appointed. I'm standing at the very front. Actually, I'm standing on the love seat right now, which I'll show you.
Okay.
And this is at the very bow.
Okay.
And this is my new top-down furler and bowsprit. This is for use with our big asymmetric spinnaker, and I've just put that on, and this is the fourth fitted sail that we have on board. So this is not one we have all the time out, but we use in downwind sailing. Other than that, it's called a cutter rig, and what I'll show you next is what that is. So if you look up the mast here with me, I am hanging on right now to the big Genoa. This is a full-size Genoa. Goes back on the boat about a little past the mast. Massive sail, something like 3,000 square feet.
Okay.
Just to give you an example. And then right ahead of me, you'll see my staysail, which is like a storm sail. And that one is about half the size. And that's what a cutter rig really is two head sails.
Okay.
And then the mainsail, which is right behind the mast right there. And then plus the big asymmetric that is absolutely massive. You'll have seen our logo, which is a orca. It's a killer whale in the West Coast Indian design, and we put that on our spinnaker. And we're now told that that's one of the largest pieces of Indian art in existence in the world, at 100 feet high by 50 feet across. So that's kind of funny, unintended consequence.
Wonderful.
If you look down here, you can see our tender, which we bring along with us. That seats 6 people, 60 horsepower engine on it. You can water ski behind this, and that goes up on the foredeck here when we don't have it in cruise mode, which you can see it's in right now.
Okay. So you just haul it up.
Yeah, we just haul it up. Yeah, put it on the deck. It weighs 400 kilos, so it's quite heavy, but also nice to have when you're anchored out, which we often are, and then we're transiting into shore.
I can see my spot when if and when I ever get on your boat. I can see my spot right there, the sun.
Right? Yeah. If you're ever allowed out of the engine room, in my case, this is where you come to read. All
right. Now, is that a teak deck, Trev?
Yep, all teak.
Nice.
And you can see that's kind of a standard on these boats. Looking across, this boat beside us is actually the same hull, just slightly older. But all these Oysters are blue water cruising, super well equipped boats for this kind of sailing. And most of these guys have come across in the last month or so from Palma and our base in the Mediterranean.
Okay, can you speak to the mast and the your boom? How do you have your foot attached to your? Is it the mainsail? How does it it retract? Is it also furling?
No, this is called a slab reef main, and this is my all carbon rig. This boat I've kind of spec'd it, so in a crazy way. So all my sails are carbon, and my mast and boom are also carbon. And so this is a real performance rig, as you can see. And that's a full carbon mast, and this is a carbon boom here.
Okay.
And this is called slab reef. So it's quite manual. This obviously we have electric winches on the deck.
Right.
Here and further back, but this sail, as you can see, is folded up there.
All right,
that's a carbon sail that we have to fold manually when we take the sail down. But oftentimes it's up for a week or 2 weeks at a time when we're doing big passages. So it's not that big a deal, and it allows you to have a much higher level of performance in the sail itself.
Okay.
So this mast is 108 feet to the top, 33 meters from the water line to the masthead. So when you get into that kind of size, then you'll see all these lines are very heavy. These are all Dyneema core lines that are designed for massive loads, which is becomes a big deal on how you operate a boat.
And who do you send up in the bosun's chair? Just out of curiosity.
I'll have to do it, right? It's I kind of like it actually, but I've got a first mate on board who was very skilled, and so one or the other of us go
Okay.
up.
Okay.
This is my new. What I'm showing you now is my new carbon bimini. Most of these boats, as you can see, have a canvas bimini on stainless struts. But we've just recently upgraded ours to a full carbon bimini. And the reason for that was that I wanted to try to enhance my off-grid capabilities. And so the top of this bimini, as you might be able to see, is all solar panels.
Oh, there we go. Yes.
So that turned out to be a really nice addition to this boat. So instead of having the old canvas sort of top to it, now it's got a we're just looking at one of the struts right here, and huge visibility from the cockpit. And then this is looking into the cockpit, which is now even more spacious as a function of this bimini that we put on.
Right.
It was pretty fun on New Year's Eve. I decided to put speakers in it and lights, and so we had a pretty serious dance party here. Nice. On the dance floor, right, which is right here.
Mm-hmm.
So this is now come all the way back to the aft deck, and here is the backstay, and I'm just going to give you a shot of what that looks like all the way to the top of the mast.
Okay.
It's right there. So this is now I'm all the way aft. You can see this is the passerelle that goes ashore. And then looking forward, this is looking into the cockpit area.
Nice.
So then we're just coming forward now a little bit. And this is the, everything's got covers on it, of course, right now, because we're still in the harbor and sort of in getting ready mode. But this is the cockpit. These are my two carbon wheels and two steering positions here. And then this is the cockpit. And because of the way this bimini is shaped, you can see how spacious it is. Give you an example of this. You can have 10 people here for dinner quite easily. So this is about 12 or 15 feet long and 10 feet wide, this particular area.
And you can zip it up and have clear view, right? You've got
yeah, those are windows in the front, so that's all clear there.
Yeah.
We don't have cover for the side except for that mesh screen you can see on there now, and that's to block the sun.
Okay.
So I fitted it for that capability to zip it all in, but because we spend most of our time on the equator or close to it, you never really need to.
Right. You want airflow, or you want yeah,
exactly. Yeah. So that's the upper deck. Here's the winches here. These are big power winches, primary and secondary, and the sheets for the sails come all the way back here through turning blocks on the deck, like that one,
right?
And then to these. And so you can, when you're sailing, you can control the jenny and staysail and spinnaker from here on electric winches, and then the mainsail is controlled from back here. Now, so yeah, if you're in the weather, you can definitely control all the sails.
Now, I forgot to ask you, do you have redundancy in your sails? You mentioned you've got your jenny and you've got your storm headset.
Do we carry extra sails? No. I mean, it's they're, to take them off, they're huge. And heavy and be hard to store. So no, we've got the sails we have, and we're redundant sense, but in that we have multiple sails, but we don't have other sails in storage except for the asymmetric, which is in the sail locker forward. Okay. That's spinnaker, and that's on its top-down furling rig. So that's a carbon shroud that it's permanently mounted on, and then we hoist that up onto that bowsprit when we deploy it. Okay.
Now, before you go downstairs, the flag that you're flying on the back there, you've got, that's not Canadian flag. What's that? Is that?
Yeah, well, I've lived in the US for a lot of years. And this boat is flagged in the Cayman Islands.
Okay.
So that's,
okay.
so it's the US company that owns the boat, and it's flagged in the Caymans for a bunch of registration
Okay.
/ tax
Right.
reasons.
Right. Okay.
Interestingly, the boat beside us is also Canadians, YOLO.
Yep.
Here, and their boat's flagged in Jersey. So there's lots of reasons that
Yes.
that help you decide where to flag.
Yeah, I see the motor yachts have a Malta flags oftentimes.
Yeah.
So
The whole idea is to try to avoid tax on when you bring the boat into like America, for example. It might be if it was U.S. flag, it might become a taxable event. So try to set it up. Entering various harbors doesn't become taxable.
Yeah, cost prohibitive. Or not prohibitive, but yeah, unnecessarily so. So do you have your controls up here for your solar system? Is that you have all of your controls up here to monitor your energy and your fuel? You can control that. You can see all of that from your cockpit, or do you have to go downstairs for some of that?
Yeah, no, it's all controlled from below, which I'll take you down there.
Oh, okay, perfect. Yeah, okay.
Okay, so here we go. So this is the companionway.
Okay.
And we're just heading. I've got we're all working today, so I've got people scurrying around at the moment, doing a bunch of things. But
great.
It's okay.
Sorry for the intrusion, everyone. If you can hear me.
Yeah, this is just reality. Here's our salon. So this is dining area. That's our engine room hatch. Callum, my first mate, is cleaning out bilges today and doing a bunch of other things down there. And you can see a bunch of supplies have come in. These are crew uniforms that we brought in from Scotland yesterday. These are yogurt packs and cleaning packs that we're taking with us. Some of our passages are pretty long, so we learned about making bread and yogurt and stuff from scratch, or nearly from scratch. So that's what this stuff is.
Oh, nice.
I'm going to take you forward first. So this is just going around in the salon. This is a settee. Here's our nav station. I've just upgraded my satellite comms system this week, so brand new satellite receiver, and then all these cards are navigation cards, which we've been upgrading and updating for all the places we're going in the world. You can see every one of those cards represents a region around the world that we are upgrading into our chart plotters, which are here and on the up at the navs, up at the helm station, and also on the tender.
Okay, wow, a lot of
this is great
data.
Yeah.
But critical to your passage that you have all of the updated charts. And
yeah, you can't really do it without. So you got to bite the bullet on those. This is satellite and VHF radios and instruments. This is what I call my low voltage panel here. So this is everything that works on 12 or 24 volts DC. So that's fans and lights and heads and stuff like that on board. This is the control panel you were talking about. You look at that really closely, you can see that my batteries are 99% right now, and I'm getting 41.3 amps of DC power from the sun.
Oh, wow.
Helping charge batteries right now. So that up there, that Bimini produces 2,200 watts and generates at a maximum about 80 DC amps of power. Okay. So it can be quite significant. This is my high voltage panel. So this is all the power on the boat that comes from either shore or my generator on board, 22.5 kilowatt generator, or my inverters, which are making AC power from DC power, or my alternator on the main engine, which generates 300 amps of DC power as well. So there's a very
I did a huge upgrade on power this year on this boat, and to give us another layer of capability, and give us an easier way to rely on the sun.
Yeah.
For running all our systems on board. When we came across the Atlantic, we were running our AC on batteries largely charged by the sun. So that's a first for Oysters.
That's amazing. I love the bell that you just passed. Is there a story to that?
Yeah, this is the ship bell.
Ringing those bells in the mess. Oh wow.
It says never a lay down, which means and we took I was a utility executive many years ago, and we took that company public amidst a lot of chaos and again the financial meltdown of the world, and that was our saying, never a lay down. So one of my partners gave me that when I retired.
Nice.
Yeah, anyway,
was that 2000? Was that 2007, 2008?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's when I became a stockbroker. There you go. Remember that time well. Yeah.
Yeah, not a super fun time, but
best of times, worst of times.
Exactly. There's the mast coming right through the galley here, as you can probably maybe see, and this is the galley. So pretty well equipped, actually. This boat has a nice, very nice galley capability. You can see all the funny things you have on a boat you might not have necessarily in your house. This is a sparkling water, cold water, extra treatment, actually a membrane system on that one.
Well, that's your drinking water tab?
Yeah, drinking. This is also drinking, but just
okay.
regular water.
Yeah.
This is a boiling water tap, so that you don't have to run water to get hot water. So that's
nice.
fitted. You see my steam oven here. I also have an induction range. This is half induction here and half gas here, and so we carry two ports. We can run our ovens off batteries or the generator or propane.
Propane. Okay. So where do you keep your cylinders then? Are they out back somewhere?
Yeah, they're out back on the under that aft deck.
Okay. Because they have to be in a separate compartment, as I've just learned from my recent studies. Anyway.
They do. Dishwashers, like I said, the galley's pretty well equipped. So I got two dishwashers there. This is a crisper for keeping fresh produce warm, keeping it fresh for longer. That's my main fridge. And then this is all a freezer. So under this counter is a huge freezer. And
is that the freezer that you had problems with on the last crossing, where you had the what was it, the pump that failed or something? There was something that
it's sort of, that's like, standard fare. Things are breaking all the time. That happened to be this is a water cooled freezer, and one of those pumps went out, and we have a lot of spares on board, more than 350 individual items for various things that could go wrong, from propulsion, generation, power generation, air conditioning, water making, etc. So all that stuff on board.
Yes.
Then this is a forward stateroom.
So is that maple? Is that maple finish, or what is that wood?
It is.
Okay.
Yeah, it is.
Yep.
Yep.
Nice.
Thank you. Yeah, this is this cabin. These guys just got back from Scotland for the holidays, so they're just unpacking. This is a big double bed here, and then two bunks here. And this is my crew cabin. So it's actually quite a nice cabin.
Very nice. Yeah, very spacious.
Yeah, and then this is the forward head, and it has a shower, very spacious shower around the corner there.
Nice, very nice.
So this is actually really good space for anyone, and I think a good one for our crew.
And the toilets are flushed. Are they? How do you flush them? Is there like do you pressurize them, or do you pump them and then they evacuate, or?
Yeah, they're they're macerator pumps that pump water in electrically, and then and then macerate it out. So it's quite nice. It's actually better than the old vacuum pumps that are harder to maintain. So yeah.
And so what are when are you allowed to discharge your black water?
Well, technically it's 12 miles off the coast, but you know, the practical realities are there's nothing in there except for organic material. So usually a couple miles offshore.
Yeah.
Is the standard.
Yeah.
So walking aft now, I'll show you a couple of things. This is a big screen TV that comes up out of the side here. So this particular boat has a lot of practical features, but also has quite a few luxury features.
Nice. I was eyeing the library actually. I was wondering what books you have in there, whether they're technical books or whether those are all
half and half.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
Some
all
of them are
stories.
This is
World Cruising.
Jimmy Cornell wrote this book, World Cruising Routes, which with every blue water route in the world, and that's the Bible for how to cross. You're going to go from Hawaii to Japan,
yes,
or from San Diego to the Marquesas. That's the place to go.
Okay.
So we're going aft now.
Your air conditioning system. How is your air conditioning system? Is it forced air or is it liquid, or what is your air conditioning system on your boat?
Yeah, it's chilled. We got 5 units on board. It's chilled water in the engine room for these aft cabins, and then circulates chilled water to air handlers in all the cabins.
Okay.
So that makes it pretty nice. I was remiss to not point out my wine fridge.
Oh, very nice, very nice. Our sommeliers in our class will like to see that.
Yeah, this is where I keep the vintage collection.
Mm-hmm.
And then this is the bunk room, and this is one little cabin here, 2 bunks. It's actually not bad space. This is another crew space here, and you can see it's quite small, but not terrible. Lots of room to hang.
It's good.
Yeah.
So you've got 6 beds per crew. That's a lot. That's a lot of crew space.
Yeah. And then coming across the hall, this is the afterhead. So this is the ensuite to the guest quarters, and also another pretty nice head with a full shower, sink, and this area. This is on.
Do you use your RO to run through your boat is operated on your reverse osmosis water purification, right?
Yep.
So,
Yep.
do you soften it, or do you just, how do you, like, I know sometimes boat owners will try to remove all the chemicals so that when they wash the boat, they don't have spots. I was wondering, yeah.
We do both of those things. So we soften water from shore water, which sometimes has a lot of minerals in it. Often RO water needs minerals to be added back in for drinking, and so we do that too. Remineralization. We make 120 liters of water an hour on board. Also can be run now off batteries and solar. So generally we end up running the generator 1 or 2 hours a day, and then we make water at that time. Interestingly, we can run AC off the batteries now as well. And so we've been running the AC in the cabins all the time. And it's really nice when you're in hot passages and you can just take the edge off the heat in the cabins, and also helps with humidity.
Absolutely.
So,
yeah. And how much water are you consuming on a per person basis? Like, what is your what are you finding you're using on your passages?
With 5-6 people aboard, we use about 200 to 300 liters a day.
Okay.
Pusser showers, as we used to call them in the Navy, which are, turn the water off when you're soaping up or whatever, and then you know, for laundry. Well, we don't do laundry really at sea, so that's often a big consumer of water. So nor do we use the dishwasher. So it's
Okay.
really just for showering. And you know, we encourage people to shower as often as they want, often twice a day. Everybody,
Yeah.
getting, you know,
Idea.
sweating and working and stuff like that. So yeah, we carry 1,150 liters of water aboard, and I can, you know, I can fill our main tank in about 6 hours from empty.
Yeah.
So
Well, that's excellent. Because, yeah, because I think it's 100 liters a day per person in, you know, if you're not, you know, restricted. So you're not using nearly as much as average.
No.
Yeah.
No, exactly. So this is the master cabin. That's master head. I was just showing you there. And then
Very
this
nice.
is,
Wow. It's huge.
yeah, it is actually, it's good size. It's a full walk around bunk. It's a little bit messy now because we've got all sorts of changing out cabins and some crew changes and stuff this week.
Mhm.
But basically, yeah, it's good. That's another big TV.
Nice. What's your headroom there?
Yeah, it's I'm standing here. I'm about
Okay, there you
6'2",
go. Okay.
maybe 6 or
Yeah.
so,
Yeah.
something like that.
Okay. Yeah.
Probably 12 feet across by 15 feet
Mhm.
long. Maybe.
So you're very comfortable for you to walk around. That's yeah.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Big closets on both sides here for clothes, here as well.
Mm-hmm. Very nice. Very nice.
But yeah, it's quite. I mean, we're not really roughing it.
Well, it's your house for the next, you know, it's your house for an indefinite period of time. You know, it's as you said, you sold your stuff, and and this is now where you're hanging your hat. So yeah, it's nice.
Yeah,
Wonderful.
exactly. So it's quite. It'd be like a small apartment, you know, in New York or something like that. It's not obviously massive, but for we have now 5 people permanently on board, and it's pretty good for that, actually. Quite good. Lots of space.
Yeah.
Down here in the engine room, and I can show you that if you want to see it.
Oh, I do. You know, I do. I saw your mate there popping out of it, and I was curious to see what it looked like inside. So how much space there is to move around.
Yeah, not too bad. I mean, we're so I'm now standing inside it, set up to my hips.
Okay.
And now I'm going to take you down and show you around some of the equipment that's down here. There's a lot of new electrical equipment and different things. So that's my 22.5 kilowatt generator. And what you can see on this back wall is all my new electrical inverters and battery chargers. This is all for this huge electrical upgrade that I just did. So we now have, for those technical people, 17,000 watts of inverted power on board. So you can run the whole boat on batteries at this stage.
Wow.
Here's my main engine. It's a Cummins diesel, 220 horsepower, inline six cylinders. Actually, very powerful engine for a sailboat.
Now, you don't need to run your motor and your generator on a passage unless you're without sun, right?
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, or wind.
Okay, right. Of course, yeah, sun or wind. Yeah.
But now we're down the port side of the engine room. If you look back, you can see autopilot there, hot water tanks. These are AC units here, water maker, high pressure pump for water maker. These are various filters.
Yeah.
Rakors for fuel water separation. And then I've just put in a new this unit right here, which is my fuel water separator for when I'm in crazy spots in the South Pacific and taking on fuel that's crappy.
Yeah, so you can polish it before you use it. Keep it, yeah.
Yeah.
Now, what
Yeah,
about
exactly.
bugs? Do you have something to treat your fuel too for bio?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, we do. We put a fuel additives in, biobor or other substances to try to reduce that microbiological, contamination.
Yeah. Do you test the fuel before you put the biocide in, or do you actually just douse it when you get it?
We just generally douse it. It's pretty hard. Sometimes you got to take it, and so
Yeah.
you don't often have a good option.
Yeah. Yeah. I hear you.
Ice maker here, which is kind of a nice feature. This is washer dryer here.
Oh, nice. Very nice.
So you have all the comforts of
The luxuries. Yes.
Yeah.
Well,
So
it's unfortunately you're not live, so I can't ask you the questions that our audience would have, but maybe at a future date, I can ask the class, or whoever's listening, if, what questions they had, and I can ask you those questions next time we're chatting about.
Yeah,
so.
Yeah, I'd love to do it. Happy here.
Yeah.
We have our first stop after the 9th is we're going to sail first to Bonaire, and then Carrasco, and then Aruba, and then Cartagena in Colombia.
Okay.
And then the Sandblast Islands, and then the Panama Canal around the middle of February.
That's what I'm going to ask you, when you plan to hit the Panama Canal. So.
Yeah, about middle of February. We've got a nice 6-week, 5-week period here before we get there. So we're going to spend some time diving. I can actually go show you a couple things now on the upper deck again, if you'd like.
Yeah, you was mentioning. So do you fill your own tanks, or what do you do for your diving?
Yeah, we do. Love to dive and have all that gear aboard. I have actually 4 tanks on board and all the dive stuff and a compressor.
Okay, you got dive compressor. So what do you do for gas analysis to check to make sure you've got no oil in your air?
Yeah, I mean, that hard to do in reality.
Yeah.
The only thing you do is replace the cholesterol filters, which is how you take that out. And I maintain it a little more often than even is necessary for that reason, because it's very hard to test. So.
And you're not going very deep. You're doing mostly surface, so it's not.
Yeah.
Or not like just checking the hull. Like, so when you dive, how much of your diving is pleasure? How much of your diving is boat related, for checking your anchor, checking your hull?
Yeah, that's a good question. I mean, honestly, when we're in cruising mode, I dive most days. And that's usually to dive on the anchor or to, as you say, check on things subsurface. And I have a little James Bond tank for that, which makes it kind of fun. And also, I really like the solitude of being in a little bay somewhere and going down for 20 or 30 feet and decompressing down there. So I would say 70% of the time is diving for quasi work related things, and then the other times are diving on wrecks and reefs and stuff like that.
So how many anchors are you carrying, and what kinds of anchors do you have, and how many through hull fittings do you have?
We carry 3 anchors, a main ultra, which is 175 pounds. And it's new with a new stainless chain on it, which is really a nice feature. And
how long is your chain and how long is your rode?
This only has 100 meters of stainless 14 mil chain.
Okay.
So no incremental rode. Sometimes on boats you have a rope section, but this boat weighs 54 tons, so it's only chain.
Okay.
And then I have a secondary anchor that is a lot lighter with 50 meters of incremental chain. And then I have a kedge anchor, which is sometimes you use that in the Caribbean or somewhere where you have wind on the nose, but swell from on the beam, and that makes it very rolly. So you attach it to your stern and pull yourself around like you would with a bridle, and try to put yourself a little bit more side to the wind and not exactly on the beam. So 3 anchors, 100 meters of chain, and that's pretty standard. I mean, that's probably overkill. Although I have 80 out right now in this harbor, we're all stern tied here. So you put the anchor down way out in the harbor, and then drag yourself into this stern position.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
That's the locker there for propane you were asking about.
Yes.
Actually, both my bottles are out being filled right now. And then this is here what we call the lazarette, and this is where we keep things like the dive compressor, and you can see dive bottles over there, fishing gear.
They're singles, right? I can't see the dive bottles. They're singles down there.
Yeah, if you can see them over in that corner somewhere.
Oh yeah. There. Okay. Yeah. The red. No, that's fire extinguisher. Yeah. Okay.
I screwed up my back, so I can't really bend over at the moment.
That's okay. That's okay. This is fabulous, Trevor. This is absolutely amazing. I'm so excited. It's just to be able to travel with you like on video. It's just amazing.
Well, it's taken us a few years to get organized. I've done 3 refits and sailed 30,000 miles. Now I finally feel like I'm ready for this next 30,000+ miles.
I'm going on with you in spirit. I've got my sailor outfit on for our video today.
Oh, no, you do. You do. You look like a French sailor.
Yeah. Whatever. I couldn't find my life jacket, so anyway.
I like it.
Yeah.
I like it. So.
I'm just trying to think if there's anything else that we haven't talked about. We've gone on quite a while. I think we've covered a lot. Fabulous tour. So tell me what remains between now and your departure date on the 9th? Like, you're going to be just getting everything packed up and your systems.
We've got a list. My wife and our chef are on a course today on how to cook caught fish, as we catch them, and so that's kind of funny. So they're doing that. We've got some other courses to tidy up, and then some nav briefings and some parties. The party scene is pretty solid here. So
I've heard. Yes, I've heard.
Yeah, most nights are pretty good. One thing that's got people find funny is this is one of my 2 electric scooters we have on board. So anywhere we go, we can jump on these scooters and blast into town and get provisions or supplies or whatever. So we carry two scooters on board for rapid transportation.
Oh, excellent. Well, I'm wondering also in the future whether we might be able to have a chat with your wife to see, what it's like as the spouse of the captain, because sailing is they say it is a couple sport to a great extent, in that it's long passages, and it's good to have someone who's compatible as far as being out on the water goes, and but it's quite a challenge to change your lifestyle so drastically. Yeah. And the other is to talk to the chef to see, how does she plan the menu for the crew for such long passages and provisioning and all those little details that go into really making it fabulous for your crew on board to always be enjoying fabulous meals and mixing it up. So you would love, if there's time over the next year and a half, to talk to your wife, and your chef would love that, and your mate too, if time permits and they don't mind being on camera. So
sure, we'd love to. Yeah,
okay.
I think that'd be fun. I think you have to be a special person to be married to me and then be just in the first place, and then
you're a hard driver, Trevor. There's no doubt about that. Drag your wife around the world with you on a global circumnavigation. It's amazing. It's just absolutely amazing. So any last words from you today before we say goodbye and join you wherever we manage? Of course, we'll hopefully be getting your daily updates as we got on the first passage, and then try to find some time to fit in an update with a video chat.
Yeah, absolutely. No, it'd be fun. So I'm super excited to share this. Chuck, thanks for all the effort you've put into it. I probably wouldn't have done it without you. I've been kind of I lived a little bit of a public life historically, so I've been sort of I've been hiding in the woods for many years. Keep away from credit.
I get these crazy ideas, and I'm pretty stubborn. So thanks for putting up with me. So, okay, I will say goodbye for now, and I look forward to the updates. I look forward to joining you at some point between now and that next chat. Yeah, well,
I'll be in touch, and you'll see pictures of the whole group of us blowing out of here on the 9th of January. So thanks everyone, and happy to answer questions if.
Okay, perfect. Thanks so much, Trev. Signing off, and